Right now, today, people are driving brand new trucks and SUVs straight back to the dealership. Not for an oil change, not for a tire rotation, to hand over the keys and walk away. We're talking vehicles with less than 10,000 miles on the odometer, some with barely 3,000. Engines dying on the highway, transmissions locking up the rear wheels, warranty claims getting flat out denied, and the same companies building these vehicles are down in Washington right now trying to make sure you're never allowed to fix one yourself. Folks, this is the video the auto industry hopes you never watch. Give me a few minutes and I'll show you why, and once you see the pattern, you won't be able to unsee it. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, and drop a like if this is the kind of content you're into. Here's how it usually goes. You save up for a couple years, do your homework, walk into the dealership, sign on the dotted line, and drive off feeling like $1,000,000, proud, excited, the whole 9 yards. Then, sometimes it's weeks, sometimes it's only a matter of days, something goes sideways. A warning light pops on. The transmission hesitates. The infotainment screen freezes up on you. And that's the moment it hits you, you just made yourself a very expensive mistake. This isn't some isolated horror story I dug up to scare you. This is happening coast to coast, at a scale nobody in this business has seen before. GMC Yukon owners, Silverado owners, Escalade owners, Ford truck owners, BMW owners, Tesla owners, all lining up to hand their keys back. Some of these vehicles have barely made it out of the driveway. So what's going on here? Is this just a rash of bad luck? A few lemons slipping through quality control? No. There's a pattern underneath all of this. And it's not pretty. Let's start with the elephant in the room. General Motors. If you're driving a GMC Yukon Denali, a Chevy Tahoe, a Silverado, or a Cadillac Escalade with a 6.2L V8 under the hood, listen up. Every single model year from 2021 clear through 2026 is caught up in this. Close to 1 million trucks on American roads carrying the same documented flaw. These engines are cutting out completely, mid-drive, no rhyme or reason to it. Highways, off-ramps, stop-and-go traffic, doesn't matter. One owner described it about as well as anyone could. He's cruising along, takes the off-ramp, and the truck just quits on him. No warning light, no sputtering, just dead. Gets it towed in, GM hands him a loaner, and within a few weeks that loaner starts doing the exact same thing. GM's first attempt at a fix, sit with this for a second, they switched to a thicker grade of oil. That was the answer for a 6-figure truck randomly shutting down at 70 miles an hour. When that didn't cut it, they moved on to swapping engines completely, and a lot of those replacement engines are failing too. As if that weren't enough, GM's also sitting on a separate recall for the push-button transmission in these same trucks, the kind of failure where your rear wheels can lock up on you while you're rolling down the road. Their fix for that one, a monitoring system that gives you a heads-up 5,000 miles before the transmission goes. Not a repair, a countdown clock. GM is currently under federal investigation, class action suits are piling up, and plenty of owners are stuck waiting because dealerships don't have the parts on hand. This isn't a fender bender of a recall. This is a full-blown mess. Don't go thinking Ford's sitting this one out. Ford's 10-speed automatic, the transmission riding in millions of F-150s and other trucks, has a plastic transmission pan, on a precision-built gearbox, plastic. No engineer in his right mind draws that up. That's a decision made by somebody in a finance department, not an engineering bay. Here's the business model mechanics all over the country have started calling out. These companies aren't making their real money selling you the truck. The money's in the repairs. Dealership service bays are massive profit centers, so the incentive lines up for a vehicle that runs just long enough to clear the warranty period, then starts falling apart right on schedule. Ford and GM have taken it further, sending executives to Washington to lobby for restrictions on your right to work on your own vehicle. They want the diagnostic software locked down so only dealership techs can touch it, independent shops locked out, your own garage forget about it. One shop owner didn't mince words. He said if Ford and GM don't want independent mechanics working on their vehicles, fine. His shop doesn't want to touch their junk anyway. But the ones who really get hurt are everyday folks who just want to work on the property they paid for. There's another chapter that doesn't get nearly enough attention, the diesel exhaust fluid mess, DEF for short. It's a government-mandated emissions system built into basically every modern diesel truck, Ram, Chevy, GMC, Ford, doesn't matter the brand. When it goes haywire, your truck doesn't just flash a warning light, it drops into limp mode, your top speed gets capped, your power gets choked back, and in some cases the thing won't even turn over. One owner drove a brand new Duramax off the lot and couldn't find the def filler, because the cap was just an unmarked rubber plug. Had to ask strangers on the internet how to fill up his own new truck. Another owner trailered his truck 4 to 5 hours to a specialist because the def system had crippled it completely. Capped at 65 miles an hour after only 98 miles. Check engine light on. Service warnings lit up across the dash on a truck that was practically brand new. Then there's the Cummins 5500 story that sums up the whole mess, a 2024 model where the flex plate broke. They fixed it. It broke again 2,000 miles later, they fixed it again. Then the crankshaft cracked, a bolt sheared clean off, and the timing cover split, all within the first few thousand miles. The dealer denied the warranty claim. That's not a lemon anymore. That's a lawsuit waiting to happen. You'd think Toyota would be the safe harbor in all this. And normally I'd agree with you, but even they got tangled up. The 2022 through 2025 Tundra took 3 major recalls. And they're rough ones. Number 1. Metal shavings in brand new engines. During manufacturing, leftover machining debris got left inside the 3.4L twin-turbo V6, and those particles chewed away at the main bearings, causing knocking, stalling, and complete loss of power while driving. Nearly 100,000 trucks caught up in this across 2022 and 2023, and Toyota had to widen the recall to cover another 44,000 trucks from 2024. Metal debris, sitting inside an engine you paid $60,000 for. Number 2. A transmission that won't stay in neutral. A software defect keeps the transmission from fully disengaging when you shift into neutral, meaning the truck can creep forward on its own with nobody behind the wheel. That's not a quirky glitch, that's a rollaway accident waiting to happen, and it hits the Tundra, the Sequoia, and even the Lexus LX600. Number 3. Reverse lights that quit working. Water gets into the housing and kills the reverse lamps on over 400,000 Tundras built between 2022 and 2025. You're backing out of a dark lot and nobody behind you gets a warning. 400,000 trucks. Shipped from the factory broken. Now, credit where it's due, Toyota still issues recalls and actually fixes the problems, which puts them ahead of a lot of the competition. But if even Toyota shipped engines with metal shavings inside them, ask yourself what that says about everybody else. Let's move up into the luxury lane, because a bigger price tag does not mean fewer headaches. If anything, it gets worse. Tesla was one of the most hyped vehicles of the last decade. People camped out for delivery dates and paid premiums just to be first in line. Now you've got owners posting videos begging strangers to take the thing off their hands. One owner said she loved the car right up until she had to live with it day to day. No good spot to set her phone. Charging anxiety even though she lived 10 miles from work, burning through range faster than she expected. She went from bragging about her Tesla to missing her old Camry in a matter of weeks. She said she'd been gaslighting herself, talking herself into loving the car because she'd already spent the money. Sunk cost makes people defend a car they secretly can't stand. Then there's BMW. A content creator put a turbo inline-6 BMW head-to-head against a turbo inline-6 Mazda. Similar size, similar features. The BMW ran $102,000. The Mazda ran $55,000. In a separate video, a BMW owner said he'd been back to the shop 4 or 5 times since December. His advice: go buy a Honda Civic, stay away from the BMW. The history behind why luxury cars fell off traces back to the 1990s, when Lexus rolled into the American market with the LS400 and embarrassed Mercedes-Benz on both quality and price. Mercedes panicked and pivoted from engineering excellence to cost-cutting, and that's how you end up with rusted-out W210S and electrical nightmares in the W220S class, a race to the bottom that eventually swept up every luxury brand in the business. A 1980s Mercedes E-Class would run you the equivalent of $120,000 today. The current E-Class runs about $65,000. Do the math on that yourself. This next part might be the most important chapter in the whole video, because it touches every car owner in this country, no matter what badge is on your hood. There's a fight going on right now over your right to repair your own vehicle, and the manufacturers are winning it. Modern vehicles run on proprietary software, and the automakers are actively blocking access to it, meaning independent mechanics, small-town body shops, even you working in your own driveway, can't diagnose or repair your own car without the manufacturer's blessing. Ford and GM executives have literally walked into the White House to lobby for legislation making this permanent, claiming the software is too dangerous in the hands of regular people. The real reason is simpler: every repair you make yourself, or take to an independent shop, is money that never lands in their pocket. Anti-steering laws exist specifically to protect your right to choose your own body shop after an accident. Because we as a country decided forcing someone into one specific shop was wrong. So how is locking down diagnostic data any different? You own the vehicle, you paid for it in full, and you still can't fix it without their say-so. One mechanic put it about as sharp as I've heard it. He asked, what kind of land of the free doesn't let you fix your own property? Let's talk money, because underneath the mechanical failures and software lockouts there's a financial trap baked into every new car purchase. The moment you drive it off the lot, it starts losing value immediately. We're talking thousands of dollars gone before you even pull into your driveway. Finance it, and you're paying interest on an asset losing value every month. Meaning you owe more than the car is worth almost from day one. One young owner put it plainly, buying a brand new car was the worst financial call of his life. Not because the car was terrible, but because the math never worked in his favor. 2 years in, the truck was already showing its age, and he was still writing checks at new car prices plus interest. He wished he'd banked $20,000 in cash and bought used instead. Leasing gets a different take from some owners though. One guy said leasing saved him, because once his vehicle turned into a gas-guzzling money pit, he just handed the keys back. No negative equity, no rolling debt, just walked away clean. The smartest move in today's market is buying a reliable used vehicle with cash, something older, simpler, fewer computers that can fail on you, something you can turn a wrench on yourself, something that'll still be running 3 decades from now, because a lot of what's rolling off the line today will not be. Here's the question everybody's dancing around but nobody wants to say out loud. Is this being done on purpose? Think it through. These are billion-dollar companies with armies of engineers on payroll. They've got the know-how to build vehicles that last 30, 40, even 50 years, and we know that for a fact because they used to. A 1980s Toyota Land Cruiser is still out there running today. A 1990s Honda Civic with 300,000 miles on the clock isn't rare at all. But a GM truck from 2022 with 9,000 miles is already on its second engine. Mechanics who've been turning wrenches for decades are saying the same thing across the board. Timing chains engineered to stretch out right around 100,000 miles. Turbos built to fail just past the warranty cutoff. Plastic parts sitting where metal used to be. Not because the engineering can't be better, because somebody ran the numbers and decided it's more profitable this way. The CEO's got a bonus to hit, the shareholders want their quarterly returns, and the easiest way to lock and repeat business is to build a vehicle that keeps dragging you back to the dealership. For parts, for repairs, and eventually for a whole new purchase once the old one costs more to keep than it's worth. 20 years back, a lot of us genuinely figured cars were only going to get better, sharper technology, stronger reliability, better value for the dollar. Instead we ended up with push-button transmissions that can lock your rear wheels, engines dying twice before 10,000 miles, and software that locks you out of a vehicle you paid for outright. So with all that laid out, what's actually worth buying? The answer keeps landing on the same 3 names: Toyota, Honda, Mazda. These brands haven't joined the race to the bottom. They haven't crammed their lineups full of unnecessary tech that just adds more ways for things to break, and they haven't sent a single lobbyist to Washington trying to lock you out of your own vehicle. A 2007 Honda with a couple 100,000 miles on it is still out there earning its keep. Meanwhile, a 2024 Cadillac is on its 4th trip to the shop since December. That contrast tells you everything you need to know. Mazda in particular is having a real moment right now, offering near luxury build quality, turbo engines, and premium interiors, all at roughly half what the German brands charge. The CX-5, the CX-50, and their sedan lineup consistently rank among the most dependable vehicles you can buy today. And if a truck is what you're after, look at the older body styles, pre-2019 if you can find one, before the push-button transmissions, before DEF systems became mandatory, before the 6.2L V8 turned into a liability. Find something mechanical, something simple, something you can actually fix yourself, because the ability to work on your own vehicle, while you're still legally allowed to, is worth more than any touchscreen infotainment system they can bolt to the dash. Bottom line, folks, this whole return epidemic didn't happen by accident. It's the result of automakers chasing quarterly profits over building something that lasts, and locking regular people out of fixing their own property along the way. If there's one thing in this video that's going to split this comment section right down the middle, it's the right to repair fight. So tell me straight, should automakers be allowed to lock independent mechanics and everyday owners out of their own vehicles' diagnostic systems, or is that a line that should never get crossed? And if you're weighing a new purchase right now, or want to dodge a $60,000 mistake, go check out the video popping up on your screen. I guarantee it'll help you make a smarter call.